Hi, friends. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Hello APGD, a neighborhood podcast about the Audubon Park Garden District in Orlando, Florida. I'm your host, Michael Lothrop, and today we'll be speaking with Gavin and Shehara Parys of Ceylon Hut and Ceylon Roti Hut. Check them out any Monday night at the Audubon Park Community Market, Saturday nights at Red Light, and follow them on Instagram at the Ceylon Hut and Ceylon Roti Hut to find out where else they'll be. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, or if you'd like to be a sponsor, please feel free to message me on Instagram at HelloAPGDPod. Thank you for listening. This episode is brought to you in part by Trevor Brown, Audubon Park resident and trusted Central Florida realtor with Fannie Hillman and Associates, proudly serving their clients for over 40 years. For listings, market trends, helpful home buyer and seller tips, email directly to Trevor at fanniehillman.com or find him on Instagram at Trevor Brown Realtor. And with me today is Gavin and Shehara Parys of Ceylon Hut and Ceylon Roti Hut. Welcome.
Thank you,
Mike. Thank you for having us.
It's so great to see you both. And so you make weekly appearances at the market, the Monday night market, and Saturday nights at Red Light. So you're in the neighborhood quite a bit.
Quite a bit, yes.
Initially, how did you find your way to Audubon Park?
So we had good friends with Kelly and Scott, Kelly's Ice Cream.
Oh, yeah.
So when they first moved to the neighborhood, we were having the idea of doing pop-up, and they call us and say, hey, let's go ask Eastern Market.
Yeah.
So when they're Eastern Market, it was Jess was doing that back then. So.
Jess Tantalo,
Yep.
our favorite neighborhood chef.
So we spoke to her, and she's like, yeah, it's whenever you guys want to do it, let her know. So we did about 2 hours a month and see how the response is, because this is the first time somebody's doing Sri Lankan food in state of Florida.
Yeah.
So it's not like people know about Sri Lankan food. It's a very small island, so nobody knows what it is. So it's literally, you had to test out the market, see what they like, what they don't like.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like they're going to Google and say, hey, what Sri Lankan food is. So,
Yeah, and I think at East End, you have kind of the perfect audience, because obviously anybody that is at East End is interested in good food and would be more adventurous. You know, there's a kind of a lot. It seems like there's a lot more cultures represented in the culinary world in Orlando these days.
Oh, yeah. I mean, when we were doing at East End, I had no idea that much people actually went to Sri Lanka. We met so much people that went to Sri Lanka.
Really?
Like, really?
Wow.
Like, you went to Sri Lanka? So,
yeah. That's interesting. And what brought them there? Did they say? Is it
mostly vacation and then surfing?
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
I met a lot of surfing dudes. So.
Yeah. Well, it makes sense. Like Florida, kind of known for its surfing dudes, among many other things.
Right.
So you both have family over in Sri Lanka?
Yes.
So Gavin's family is actually over here.
Okay.
But my parents and my siblings are all in Sri Lanka.
And I understand you get some ingredients, so you've got kind of the inside track, and
yes.
that's part of the secret.
Yes.
Her parents
Yeah.
comes every year.
Okay.
So we give them the list what to bring.
That's
so
amazing.
when my parents ask me, what do I want?
Yeah.
So I tell them, bring me cinnamon, cardamoms, and cloves.
Right.
Because Sri Lanka produces some of the best. So that's when we actually stock up on all our spices. So that's when we get them, yeah.
Shay's dad, so he works in the industry, like cinnamon and rubber. So he gets really good quality spices.
Stuff,
Wow.
Yeah.
And it has to make a huge difference, right? Because the authenticity, you need those are key ingredients, right?
Absolutely.
That's so cool. And how did you both get involved with being chefs and with the industry?
My parents, they have a restaurant.
Okay.
It's been on iDrive for about 23 years now.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of grew up seeing the craziness of it.
Yeah.
And then, and I'm like, I don't want to do that.
Wow.
It was a lot of where like my parents like there's no literally a break, you know. And then we wanted to do something, do our own thing. So I was like looking up, well, if you can do something unique that, you know, it's not many Sri Lankans here and it's a different culture. People hasn't seen it much of it. So we were thinking, and then the idea came up, you know.
Yeah.
So then we were talking, figuring out how to do it. It's a lot of, you know, hoops to jump with all the licensing and all that stuff. And one day, like literally, we were like watching Netflix show. What was the name of it? I forgot the name of it. It's a Canadian guy.
A Canadian guy.
And he was doing literally pop-up like out of tent.
Yeah.
And in the middle of the night, I'm watching him like, we can't do this.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm like, we don't have enough money to buy a truck, but we can buy a tent, you know?
We can do that, yeah.
That's such a great, I mean, the barriers to entry for the restaurant business and just like finding your audience and getting people familiar and making sure that this is a viable thing because you understand, obviously with your family, they're doing something at a pretty major scale if they're on the iDrive. And what is the name of their restaurant?
So their restaurant is, it's called World Cafe. Okay. So it's a cafe, it's literally run by my mom and dad. It's been, I think that's the only mom and pop shop on iDrive. I think, I'm not 100% sure.
Very possible, yeah, when you look at iDrive.
Yeah, because it's a lot of chain restaurants coming up, big, you know, a lot of money. And a lot of them closes too. Like they come like, because there's a way iDrive works, there's a season, but now it's changing because of the convention center and all that on that side of the iDrive.
Right.
My parents is right before Sand Lake, so it was always season.
Yeah.
So I've seen a lot of businesses close over there, but my parents, because they worked there, they were able to, you know,
keep it going
for a long time.
That's amazing. And what do they serve there?
So they do British breakfast because it's all the Europeans on iDrive.
Yeah.
But after the pandemic, it changed. Literally all the Europeans, there was no Europeans at all on iDrive. It was dead. And then one day we were telling like my brothers and we were all sitting like, you need to change your menu. And they still had the British menu, which is doing good now again. Good. But they added just regular pancakes, all that. And that actually changed. And they've been slammed for breakfast ever since. So,
that's awesome. Yeah. That's really smart. Yeah, I mean, it's a very specific, we've been to the UK and it's a very specific breakfast menu and it's not for everybody, right? No. It's...
You get the English bacon, the baked beans.
Yeah.
So they really want that breakfast.
Yeah. I mean, I loved it when we tried it over there, but it's, I don't know that it would be my go-to.
Right.
Yeah.
I used to love the British bacon, but now I think I changed it. It's like, I just want regular bacon.
Yeah. And so you began, how long ago now?
It was in December of 2017.
Okay.
That's when we did our first pop-up.
Barber Park.
Yeah. Sorry, forget the name of that.
It's all right. It's kind of the pre-pandemic is kind of a blur anyways, right? It seems like a lifetime ago.
Yeah.
They have a farmer's market every month, like once a month. That's where we first did the pop-up.
I remember the date. I believe it was December 8th. And we didn't even have like a proper vehicle to put our stuff in. I think we bought the entire kitchen with us.
Wow.
We actually hired a U-Haul.
Yeah.
I was actually like 3 months pregnant at the time. We
just
took
everything
like
all at once.
So much stuff. Like we had no idea.
Yeah, it was a lot of like we bought so many things. Like
it's very
like
ambitious.
A truck full.
Yeah.
Just looking back, it's like all a blur, but it's really what shaped us, and you know, like we learned a lot from that. So that was our first event, and it was for our first time. Like, you know, we had no idea like how things are gonna work out, but we got a good response, and then that's when we like started gradually taking on few small events. We started at Lake Nona. They had a farmers market, I believe it was every Monday. So we did that almost every week, and it just kind of kept catching on.
Yeah, I mean, we got really good response like every time we did something.
Yeah.
So it was never like, oh, I'm not sure if it's gonna work.
Mm-hmm.
It was like people like, oh, we loved your food.
Yeah. It's so memorable.
Yeah,
it really is. Yeah.
So it was
So
like,
good.
all right, we'll keep going.
Mm-hmm.
So that is the main reason. Like, all the hard work. I mean, like even with the truck, it's a lot of work. Like we've been working, like for the last 3 days. Like especially her, she worked all day yesterday, and then it's like Christmas break, kids being home, so it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Just trying to manage everything.
Absolutely. So is that how kind of the process goes? Does one of you do the cooking and trade off at times, or is it sort of how does that process work?
Yeah. So I do most of the cooking. So we have 2 sons, so we try to work around them.
Yeah.
So what I do is when the kids are in school, that's when I work. I do all the cooking and the prep and all that stuff, and I have it ready for Gavin. So when I get off work, that's when he switches back on.
Mm-hmm.
Because we have our commissary down here, the Fashion Square Mall. So that's where he comes and basically loads up the truck and takes whatever he needs and then just disperses from there to whatever the event that we have that day. Yeah, so it's like a tag team effort.
That's a lot to juggle. I mean, yeah, it's funny how you kind of thought that you didn't want to do the restaurant business, and now you've gone into 2 food trucks and deep. And do you also have a location at Fashion Square that is, aside from the commissary kitchen, do you serve food there, or there was a time that you did?
There was a time, but it was too much for us.
Yeah.
Just with the trucks, and then try to do that and to keep it open.
That makes sense.
To the mall hours, so it was too much for us. And like, all right,
you gotta call it at some point,
yes.
right? Yeah.
I mean, we tried it, but at some point it was just too hard to maintain that 2 trucks, and also like trying to find people to work, which is still something that's really hard for everybody. I mean, we're still struggling to find people, but so at one point we decided we need to close that chapter and just focus on these. Mm-hmm. So that made it.
What we want was the kitchen.
Yes,
mainly.
That makes sense.
And it's also like a hub for us because like Ceylon Hut is mostly in Audubon. So it's really a hop, step, and a jump for us. So it just made it so much easier to have our kitchen located close by. So that really worked for us.
That's really brilliant. Yeah. And Fashion Square Mall is such a ghost town right now at this point. I mean, it's fascinating that it's still just kind of standing on its own, and that nothing else has been developed with it, because it's prime real estate, obviously. And
absolutely.
I know that there have been multiple plans and things have fallen through, and I'm not sure even what the latest is.
I don't know what's happening, Yeah. I mean, we don't get much information about it either.
Sure.
So, like,
I don't think they know, frankly.
Yeah,
That's true. Quite frankly,
we'll keep it as long as we can.
Sure. It's perfect for you guys now, right? It's amazing. That's such a good idea too, because you don't have the pressure of having a retail or restaurant space there, but you can still use the kitchen.
Yeah.
So are other businesses doing that as well, do you know of?
No,
or are you
not that
we know.
Interesting.
They need a lot of work, basically.
Yeah.
Like
gotcha.
they have not been used for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Probably they had to update all the hood system, and the fact that they don't know what's going to happen to the mall.
Right.
Like,
they don't want to put that money
into it. They don't want to put the money,
Exactly.
That makes sense, yeah.
We got it when the previous people left, like as soon as they left. So it was somewhat of a condition that we were able to get.
Yeah.
What was in that space before?
It's like a seafood restaurant.
Seafood place.
Yeah.
Okay, I forgot the name of it.
Yeah. They also opened during the pandemic, and it just hit
It didn't.
really hard.
They
like-
literally, I think they opened 2 days before everything was shut down,
Yep.
and the third day they had to
It
shut
was
down.
really hard.
That's heartbreaking for
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was already a tough sell in the mall.
At the mall.
Exactly.
Yep.
Everybody was kind of pulling out of there. It was like you have the movie theater,
Yep.
and that's basically the only anchor at this point.
It
right?
is. It's weird. It's like that place is centrally located for everything.
Mhm.
It's such a good place,
Yeah.
but people are just not coming to the mall. Even if you open something
Right.
up, like all right, Ceylon Hut is there,
Mhm.
but who's gonna? I feel like nobody wants to park and come up. It's
Right.
not like
it's
easily
like a hassle.
Yeah.
Yeah. People are
Yeah.
used to convenience of just going into a
Yep.
place and coming out.
I mean, honestly, there's
Yeah.
plenty of parking spots.
there's so much parking.
Yeah,
And
there's
it's-
So much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's, I mean, we run into that in this neighborhood, as you know, just people for events and things like the imagination just kind of goes away when it comes to parking. It's like
Yep.
you have all of this free street parking that's legal and you can just walk a block, but somehow people want to park right where they're going.
Exactly.
And it's a challenge. Yeah, people are fascinating that way. But yeah, you guys have such an excellent following, and it's so cool to have witnessed your growth in customers and in your business. And you've been at the market. I was talking to Gabby. She was trying to remember also. Was it like 2018 or 2019 maybe that you started at the market? I
I
know,
No, maybe
29.
no. I think towards end of 2018.
18.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Possibly,
that
yeah.
sounds right. Okay, that's what we were thinking too.
Because I remember it was close to Christmas.
I know a lot of people are telling us you guys should try Audubon, you should try Audubon. So like Gavin reached out and then we got in and we haven't left since.
That's
it's just
amazing.
been like a wonderful experience because we have like
Regulars.
everyday regular
It's like we
customers.
cannot
It's
miss it
like
anymore.
yeah, it's like
Yeah.
like a prayer to them. They'll
People are
come.
upset if you're not there,
I
right?
know.
It's like a
We
whole
get
thing.
messages.
Uh-huh. Gabby has to hear it firsthand
Oh,
too.
no.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah.
Gabby.
Well, you guys fortunately don't miss many Mondays at the market, so we're very, very grateful. And you're such an anchor too, because as you walk into the market, there you are, and you always have something new and exciting on the menu. It's kind of based on seasonal things that you're getting, and it's just always the best food that you can get. I mean, it's
Thank
just
you.
incredible.
Thank you
It's
so much.
it's
Yeah.
honestly we cook exactly the way we eat at home. Like
Very,
there's
very
no,
lucky. I love that for you.
It's not like a restaurant type
No
cooking
pressure.
business.
Yeah, right.
It's
right.
literally how she like. So it's a home cooked meal, like
That's
a typical
magical.
meal, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the kind of concept that we envision for Ceylon Hut. The type of food that we cook is basically what we ate growing up. Gavin's, especially both of his grandmothers, were exceptional cooks. They each had their own style. So that's a lot of the influence that we put behind our cooking as well. So it's basically once you eat it, it's a home cooked meal, and that like we want to kind of connect you with the food, and that's how we cook as well. Like we don't count the number of ingredients. We don't see okay, is this gonna cost? We probably should,
Yeah.
but like especially when I cook from my heart. Like everything I put in there, the spices, it's just like once you eat it, we want you to be transformed into a good place. Because food should bring that connection. So that's why we always try to envision with both our trucks. It's always like kind of giving you like a really good experience. So like once you eat it, you're gonna remember that, and so that's what a lot of like we have our regulars in Audubon, and we don't try to miss Mondays. We try to keep it regular. But when we don't come in, they'll be like, "Where's our kotu? We need the kotu."
Seriously.
I miss it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, with the Sri Lankan food, it's a large variety. Like there's so much different variety
Oh
of
my
food that
gosh, yeah,
they
so
have.
much.
Yeah.
We're actually doing maybe 10% of it,
Wow.
and
Which
that
is- yep.
and that is
Yeah.
something honestly what we like to eat.
Mm-hmm.
So like the pineapple curry that we do, mango curry, it's all me. Like I love those.
Yeah, yeah.
Like when I eat rice and curry, if you have like a mango curry, I can eat every single day. So literally, so those are the ones that we like. Is the one that we're basically cooking. It might not be all the Sri Lankan.
Right? Yeah.
I don't know how. Like sometimes we think like when we have a restaurant, we have to have all the other varieties. If you're even able to do it.
Yeah.
Like because it's so much. Let's see. What's gonna happen. But right now, what we're cooking is what we like to eat.
Yeah, I love that you typically only have about 3 to 5 things on the menu, and it's exactly enough. I think sometimes you get to a point where you're like, how do I choose, right?
Right.
But it is such comforting food. I mean, that the chicken kotu, is that how you say it? Okay. Okay.
So
very
the way
worried
it
about
says
mispronouncing.
It's kotu. That's what they
Kotu.
But
I like it.
now we
All right. Yeah.
now even we say it's kotu because
It's
that's what we hear
people
all the
are
time.
used to. I know. It's interesting in this country in particular. People like to make things their own because they're just like, it looks like that, so I'm going to say that every time. And I try not to fall into that
But
trap.
it's
even though I do.
honestly that it's just not that's fine.
Yeah.
Because we never get off in. We didn't even think this is gonna work. This kotu thing, and now we have people who really loves it. And back home, we did not like kotu is like in every
You'll find
corner,
it everywhere.
and people love it.
Yeah.
And growing up, I was not a big kotu fan, and we had to do kotu. It's not because, like I said, like we do things that we like.
Yeah.
But kotu is so big in Sri Lanka, like we have to do it. If it's Sri Lankan food, we had to do that.
It's almost part of like the Sri Lankan
Culture,
identity.
yeah.
Like
Okay,
if you
yeah.
take Sri Lankan street food, that's gonna be a like number one. So we like had to do it.
Yeah.
So that was like-
yeah.
I was like, people ask, hey, what do you like out of the menu?
Like, what would you like?
I always go to
recommend?
rice meal because I like the rice meal.
Yeah.
Because I was never a big kotu fan. But now I realize why people, even in Sri Lanka, like it so much because over here, people love it. You know?
It's the best
Yeah.
comfort food. That shredded roti
Yes.
is just so it almost serves as like a pasta to the dish, right? But it's a
being
bread.
called that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, like if somebody don't understand food, we use it like it's almost like a noodle or a pasta with veggies
Yeah.
with curry flavor.
Yes. That's a great way to describe it. Like, yeah, just
A
don't
few
worry.
short
It's
words,
bread, but I don't want to throw you off. Like, it's so good.
Yeah.
And it is. It's like I remember having it for the first time, and it was the weather was cooler at the time, and it's such a good like cold weather food. It's
Yeah.
like the spice hits you, and it's hearty and comforting, and yeah, I mean all of that you were talking about, Shay, just about how you put your heart into it, and it's like it really does come through in the end product. It's such an exquisite meal, and we're so lucky to have you here in Audubon Park so often. And I wonder, so maybe talking about next steps, even if you know what those might be, or are you going to maintain just doing the 2 food trucks?
No, honestly, we want to open up a restaurant in this neighborhood.
Yeah.
That's, I mean, because
Please
we've been
do.
here.
Yeah.
We've been here. I mean, that's all we know, honestly.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
We live in Dr. Phillips area, but we hardly done anything
In fact,
over there.
we have customers who tell us like, okay, are you guys ready to open a restaurant? We'll help you find a location over here.
Absolutely. We'll help also. Anytime.
So,
Yeah.
honestly,
yeah.
and then our vision is basically to bring an experience, like experiencing Sri Lankan food for the first time. Like now, we have customers who taste it, and now we want to almost bring the culture, like when they come to the restaurant, to feel, oh, this is very unique. So for us to do that, we need like outdoor space because Sri Lanka is it's an island. It's very outdoorish, a lot of outdoor things.
Yeah.
Even when you go to a restaurant, like street food, literally you pull up in your car, somebody come to your car and order the food, go back, bring, and people just eat in the car.
Wow, that's so
Yeah.
convenient.
And
It's like a drive-through,
and it's
but
drive-through.
yeah.
And
Wow.
then it's like outdoor seating, it's like very chill vibes. And
Yeah.
so we want to bring that. So
It's perfect for this neighborhood too, right?
I think
Yeah.
something
Yes.
will like that. Will,
Yeah, we haven't quite found that place yet, so we are definitely on the lookout.
Hopefully we'll make enough money to do that. But,
Yeah,
Well,
but it's
that's the
definitely-
best thing to do, right? It's like you have lower overhead. I mean, food trucks are still expensive
Yes.
to run and maintain, but you're building the business without having being tied down to a brick and mortar,
Yes.
and you're expanding your customer base by having multiple pop-ups,
Yeah.
essentially.
Yeah. Honestly, I feel like we have to do that just because nobody knows about Sri Lankan food.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a location, if you just open up a place that we're going to be just there, nobody's going to look up for Sri Lankan food. It's whoever is going to be in that, who's going to see the restaurant.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So I feel like this way we were able to connect with the community well. Like for a long time we were only in Audubon, and now we've been gone to like Milk District with Roti Hut. So it's like when we go out, like even just to we go, like they say like, oh hey, it's like
Yeah, they
It's-
know you
it's
now,
Ceylon,
right?
you know?
Yeah, yeah. It's so good.
It's so it's I think it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Like if you open up a restaurant, then everybody knows who we are, how we started it. We are not funded by anybody. It's just whatever the money that we make, we just put into it.
Yeah. It's truly a family business. It's coming from both of you.
every
People know
aspect,
you.
yes.
Yeah. And you
Absolutely.
have that level of control over the quality, and you
Yes.
don't feel the pressure of, if you need to take some time off, you can always do that.
And we try to do that too, Mike.
Good.
Because sometimes we, like I said, we always try to work around our two boys. We have no help. It's just Gavin and myself. So we try to give them that, our presence, because ultimately it's, we have to make sure that they are okay. So that's why
Yeah.
we kind of work around their schedules. So, and
Sometimes it's a lot. I mean,
yeah.
I bet.
it's a lot of work.
Like,
Yeah.
and opening up a restaurant is definitely not as easy as it sounds, because like Gavin said, we're just basically touching the surface of Sri Lankan food. I mean, if you take Sri Lankan food, every region has a special cooking method. Like the north is different from the south. So there's so many varieties, and I like actually how we kind of started it, because we are basically building something ground up. When like we still have people asking us, okay, what's Sri Lanka? Where is it? Is it like Indian food? We always get that question, like all the time. Now, not so much, because people kind of have an idea. So it was nice to kind of educate people on the food, like the spices that we use. And we always get the question like, is it spicy? Can I handle it?
And it
No.
can be.
It's honestly not in Audubon anymore. Like when we first started it, we had to explain what is kotu, how spicy things are. Now, if I do a market, I can do a busy market over here by myself, since a lot of people know what it is,
Yeah.
and they don't ask. I don't have to explain to.
There's no conversation.
Yeah.
It's just like,
Right.
this is what I want. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
exactly.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So, but if you go to somewhere else to do a market
A whole
or
new
even an
market.
event, we have to have two people, because one person has to explain the food.
Yes, that makes sense. Yep. Yep.
So
And you can't, you would never get orders out
Yeah.
if you were talking to every single person
Yeah.
that came
Right.
up and had to figure out if that's what they want and
Right.
ask more questions. And
Right.
that's great that you have that worked out, and you know when you need both of you and when there can just be one of you there.
Right.
That's perfect. And I feel like that not full-time access of having a food truck rather than having a restaurant, it kind of makes it more exclusive or like the desire is there. It's like you have to kind of really plan your cravings because after
Yes.
Monday, I didn't have your food, and like I've been hitting the pizza a lot at the market, and I'm like, man, like for this interview, like I really should have gotten some Ceylon, and then I couldn't get it. So yeah, I can't wait for the next pop up, which would be Saturday, probably at Red Light, right?
No,
No,
well,
we
because of Christmas. Of course.
Yeah, we took
Yeah,
the
yeah.
day off to be with the boys.
Yeah,
so
makes
yeah.
Everyone's going to take the time off.
Right?
Yeah. I forget
That's
myself sometimes where we are in time.
I know, it's
Well,
crazy.
happy holidays.
Yes,
holidays.
We're in that week.
And we didn't plan to do much this week, but we got some catering orders.
Yeah,
people
we
having
spoke too
dinners,
soon.
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
and we were cooking last 2 days nonstop.
Wow. Yeah. So how does the catering? How do people order through you?
So
So we get messages via phone calls, emails. Our regulars, they already know what they want, so they'll tell us, okay, so give us a bunch of appetizers and entrees and so on and so forth. But what we always tell everybody is like Sri Lankan food is very labor intensive and time consuming. Because it's not like we just open up something and just throw it on the grill or in the pot. There's a lot of prep work that goes into every dish. Cooking time is actually very little, but it's the prep work that takes a lot of time. It's labor intensive, and that's why each dish is like really special.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of good effort that goes in. So what we ask is for catering orders, it's hard for us to turn things out. Like if you order today, like tomorrow, most things are gonna be hard just because we need to put that time in. So our regulars, they already know, like they give us that amount of time.
Yeah.
And then things like kotu is actually easier to turn out much
like
faster.
We do trays, so
Yeah.
That's good to
Yeah.
know.
So
And dangerous. Yeah.
we do, and they sit. You can freeze them actually, and then they'll sit well when you reheat it. So
All right.
yeah.
Wow, this is a game
So
changer.
she's the so a lot of people see me in the truck. They think I'm the one who's cooking. I just put things together.
Yeah.
It's her who does all the cooking.
Well, and you do the cooking sometimes too,
Sometimes,
right?
yeah.
So yeah,
It's a team effort.
All the
for
stir
sure.
fry things,
of course,
like the
it
stir
always
fry
is.
things.
Always
That's what I
is.
like to do.
Yeah.
And just going back to what you said, Mike, like our menu, it might not look really elaborate just because of the reason that I said, like Sri Lankan food just takes so much time to prepare. Like even if you take the rice bowl, there's like 4 or 5 things that we put into it, and each one of them, it takes that amount of time to make it. So it's hard to have like a very long menu and also the space on the truck because everything has to be heated up separately. And it's not like you're in a kitchen where you have the commercial stove, you can heat up like 6 things at once, but here it's also very limited. So the menus that we try to come up with, sometimes we don't even plan it for days. It's like on a whim. Okay, I think this is gonna work for the market, or this is gonna work at Red Light. So we just get like ideas and inspirations, and then we kind of go with it. So there's a reason why our menu is not as extensive, but everything that's in it is cooked with a lot of love, and it's definitely, like you said, if you can taste it, then that's what we are happy to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, our
Absolutely,
menu.
you can.
We usually keep kotu, and then for the Audubon Farmers Market, we mostly do
The
kotu
rice
and the rice
balls.
box. But our rice box changes every Monday. So we do chicken because that's what sells most.
That's predominantly
We try
what
to-
everybody asks.
We try to do fish curry and shrimp once in a while, and even pork. But we stick to chicken curry,
And then the vegan
and then
one as well.
and then the vegan
yeah.
options, and then we do all the veggies, the pumpkin curry,
Mango.
the mango curry,
Yeah.
pineapple curries, eggplant. I mean, we learn as we go by. We actually watches like different vlogs,
Okay.
like cooking, like Sri Lankan, like village type cooking,
Yeah.
and then we did the peanut,
Okra and
the
peanut.
okra. That's something we learned basically.
That sounds amazing.
Watching a vlog, and
And
Yeah.
we're
then
learning a lot
we
too
make-
about Sri Lankan cooking. Like
yeah.
a lot we didn't know. It's
That's so
amazing.
cool.
and then we
Like-
cook it at home and say, okay, do we like it? Yeah, let's put it in the menu.
yeah.
How did that okra turn out? Was it great?
It was good, yeah.
Yeah.
It's very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next time
Yeah.
I'm
Next
not going to
time.
miss
So
out
we
on
make
that.
an okra curry, like we deep fry it and make a curry out of it, which is everybody loves that. We haven't done that for a while now, actually.
Oh.
And then we were watching this vlog, and she made something we'd never seen. It was like the okra with peanuts. Like, let's try that. It looks good. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Makes sense.
we are our biggest critics. Like we'll make it at home and we like really critic ourselves.
Yeah.
Because we both like to like even at home I cook like a lot of vegetables for the kids, and Gavin loves his Sri Lankan food, so we try to make different things at home and try those out, and then once we are like really confident it's going to work, that's when we always share it with everybody else. So it's really interesting
Yeah.
to try it out.
That's such a great way to do it, and to have each other as a sounding board too.
Yep.
And you can make sure that, you're going out there with confidence in anything that you're serving. And yeah. Wow. This is all making so much sense. It's such a magical experience, and I love, I haven't been to your second truck. So it's Roti Hut.
yes, so back home in Sri Lanka, there's this place called Golf Face. It's beach, and on the weekend, like the family used to go there, hang out. There's small, you cannot even call food carts. They're like small vendors selling like street food. So like the family goes like on a Sunday or a Saturday when the
fly
sun's going down.
kites
They have
and-
people
Nice.
flying kites, and then you eat from there. So the idea behind the Roti Hut was that basically we're like, all right, Sri Lanka, like rice and curry, all these vegetables, it's there. But when we used to go to Golf Face, it's all like we do deviled chicken, like a stir fry chicken, and then serve with roti. So in that area, like the Golf Face, it's all these restaurants when run by. We have different cultures in Sri Lanka, so it's Sinhalese, who's the natives, like native tongue, and then Tamils, Muslims, and called burghers. Burghers are the ones that descended from Europe during colonized time period. So I'm a burger, Shay's Sinhalese.
Okay.
So, and
Two of those groups represented.
Yeah,
it's
but
very
it's
diverse there,
honestly
right? It's
like-
like a melting pot. Yeah.
but honestly, it's not big of a like cultural difference, you know.
Okay.
And the Muslims are the ones who does those food carts, and it's very famous. Like everybody knows it. So our idea was behind that. Like we're like do something like with roti.
Yeah.
Because you can already get the rice and curry and all that from Ceylon hut. So we wanted to introduce like a different aspect. So we started focusing mostly on the street food concept of Sri Lanka. And still there's like so much more that we haven't brought in. And so like even when thinking of the name, we wanted to keep the Ceylon hut in there to show the connection, but also make it a little bit different.
Yeah.
And then we decided, okay, let's put the word roti in there.
Yeah.
And all the food is just a spin-off of the roti. So we still have the chicken kotu, which is one of our number one sellers. So, and everything else is basically all to do with the roti. And what's really popular on that is the chicken roti melt, which Gavin's the creator of.
So it's not available in Sri Lanka. There's no roti melts in Sri
Okay.
Lanka.
All right.
This is something
Not
completely.
yet. Not
Not
yet.
yet.
Right.
This is something completely
We
made
should
up.
probably claim like a trade.
Right. Seriously. I haven't tried one, but it looks amazing.
Yeah, so we thought like, okay, somebody who's not adventurous to try
Hmm.
like curries, how can we get to those customers?
Yeah.
So we were like thinking, and just that idea came up.
Yeah, just like on a whim, Gavin's like, what if we just do like a chicken stir fry, in the middle of a roti and just put some cheese? Like, oh, okay.
It almost
That
looks like a
sounds-
grilled cheese
Yep,
sandwich with
exactly.
roti and
Yep.
chicken.
So
yeah.
honestly, it's a grilled cheese sandwich. It's a quesadilla.
Mhm.
You know, if you want
Yeah.
to take that, like, because it has the bread, the chicken, cheese in the middle.
Yeah, what's
you know?
not to love about that?
Then we get the birria taco. Like,
Yeah,
'cause we
it's
get
been
the
called like a
yeah.
birria taco.
Okay.
So there's like so many names to
Yeah.
it, but the idea behind that was to have something like that's simple, that's easy to eat, and that's just got so much flavor packed in. And like recently we introduced like the curry sauce that you can dip the roti melt in.
Okay.
That just like really
That's next level.
said it like like we were like, why didn't we think about this earlier?
Yeah,
Eventually, these ideas come to
I
mind.
know.
Right? It's,
It's
why
like-
didn't anybody think
it's
of the roti melt,
progress,
right?
yeah.
I
It's
know.
honestly the way I think what happened was we were thinking, okay, are we gonna do 2 rotis or 1 roti melt? Basically coming up with it. One time we did 1 roti. I'm like, okay, 1 roti is not enough. We had to have something in it. And then
Right.
she's like, let's give some curry sauce on the side. And then so we did the roti melt before. We like, all right, we had the curry sauce, and
It was just
The-
a missing
yeah.
piece in the
it's
puzzle.
like we like this.
Yes.
And then one of our regular customers, she loves the roti melt. She's like, she just send a message like, you guys just changed the whole thing with this curry sauce.
We're like, okay, done. We got this.
Oh, I love it.
So it's most of the things just happens just because we're just trying to figure out, you know.
Like sometimes we're like at an event and like the roti melt is something like we make from scratch. We don't have it prepared early. It's always made to order. So it does take a little bit of time. So you need a little bit of patience. And
It's
I
worth
have
it,
to
though.
say, like most of our customers, they already know it. They said, no, it's worth the wait. You guys take the time you need. So yeah.
Yeah, some things can't be rushed. and-
Exactly.
yeah. And I was thinking when you were talking about all the steps that it takes to make Sri Lankan food, do you think that is maybe one of the reasons that it's not widely available already in this area, or what do you think kind of is that attributed to?
It's
Definitely one of the reasons, because Sri Lankan food is not something you can just like
it's not easy to cook.
yeah,
It takes time.
Yeah.
And
time.
it's
Sure.
time consuming, and a lot of people, I don't know if they're willing to do that. Like, it's a lot of work.
Yeah. It's got to be a labor
Yeah.
of love, right?
It is.
Absolutely.
truly does.
It truly
It's hard
is.
work. Like, you had to put like 100%. It takes a long time to make it too. You know, like we're still nowhere where we want to be. We're still working very hard, both of us. You know,
Yeah.
day in.
You're
we're
pushing
still
yourselves, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
we're still working the same way we first started. It's like sometimes like, oh, it's a lot of work, but it's all worth it when we hear good things about it.
Yeah.
So that's what it is. And like our future plans, we want to. We're gonna open up a restaurant.
Eventually.
Eventually.
Going
Yeah.
to happen.
It's
It's got
going to
to.
happen.
Yeah.
We got
It's
this.
just
For sure.
I mean,
the
we
demand
have-
is too high. It's upon you to do that, right?
The problem is if you open up a restaurant, that means Shay's gonna be cooking 7 days a week, which we don't want that.
No.
So it's hard for us to find a chef like who knows how to make Sri Lankan food. So that's the other thing that holding us back as well.
Yeah.
So few things, but for the future, we're talking back and forth right now. We're thinking about doing some dinners, like to get people sit down at table. We tell them, hey, this is how we eat. This is we use our hands a lot. If somebody want to experience that, we can teach that.
Yeah.
Have all this different type of meal, like curries and food that we do, and come and experience with us. Like that's one of our plans.
That's such
we
a great
also want to
idea.
educate people, not just like cook food and give it to them, but actually like teach them.
Our main thing is the experience, like bringing the like a cultural experience.
Yeah.
That, like honestly, it's more than food. That's our main goal.
Yeah.
Like for people to experience something, and we'll make sure the food is good. But
Yeah.
you know,
It draws people to it, right?
Yeah.
Once they learn a little bit, they want to learn more, and it's just so fascinating. You're like, why, what is going on with this food? It's magical.
Yeah, like me and Shay, like we're discussing right now, to even do like videos of certain things, how to cook, use the ingredient that's available over here, and how to make like
certain dishes.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Like a tutor. Just to
we're
show
thinking
people.
about like we were
how to
thinking
do
maybe
it.
we do a YouTube channel,
Cool.
or even videos on our Instagram or Facebook.
Yeah.
We're not sure yet. So, because I come up with all these ideas.
Of
like,
course.
And sometimes I have to tell
No,
you.
like this crazy ideas.
slow
Like
down.
it run. Yeah.
It's good to have these vision boards, right? But it's like, okay, what are we going to do this year, right?
Yeah.
Like let's pare it down. We
Yeah.
can do this, and
Yeah,
this.
so we were like,
Uh-huh.
while we were actually, honestly, like I was like telling her, she's the one. She's like, let's calm down a little
Yeah,
bit.
that's good.
And
Let's catch up.
See, this is a
Brett,
great
for me.
team. Yeah, that's how you know.
I wanted to do like show like the curry, like how we do things, and do like teach of certain food that how to make it from using the ingredients that's available even in the market. Like we like do a video, like we go to the market, pick up things, and do a video how to do it.
That's another nice thing over here. Like in Sri Lanka, we have like similar markets like this where you can actually get like fresh produce. It's amazing. So it's really nice that we have like the local community that actually grows these, and we definitely love to support such things. So it's always nice that you can get some farm fresh vegetables. And what's nice about Sri Lankan cooking is there's just not one way of preparing a dish. You can like
Different ways.
do
Yeah.
different ways.
So it doesn't
Yeah.
necessarily mean you need to have exact spices that you need. Like even with the stir fried things, like you can always run to the supermarket, get the basic ingredient, and make a meal.
Yeah.
And a home cooked meal.
You've got the basics, the bases, and
Right.
then you can kind of tailor it.
Like
Exactly.
even if you do that, we don't want to do like very complicated cooking, like easy things like you can actually enjoy.
Right.
So that's what we were thinking doing, and then the same time using that platform, do a video to show Sri Lankan people, like if you can reach that community. Hey, this is what like Orlando is. Like these are the markets. Like it's in a different part of the world, but there's a lot of similarities. Like when it comes to communities.
Yeah.
So and people always like interested looking at new things. Like I love looking at other country like vlogs, like other countries, because I'm like I don't know if I'm gonna go to Antarctica, but I love watching. There's this vlog that I'm watching right now. Like
That's so cool.
So
Yeah. There's so much out there, right? It's like, and we don't even know what we'll fall in love with as far as food goes. Like there's so much to explore.
Yeah.
It's so rewarding to have, a palate that is broadened in that way too, and to be open to those things.
Exactly.
I wish that I could handle more spice than I can handle. I have this really dumb thing that happens. I start hiccuping, which
That
when you have
happens.
food in your
I mean,
mouth,
that happens.
it's like the
It
worst
happens.
thing your body could do, right? but I love the sensation. I love, I found that if I kind of power through it with the katu, I can get to a point where it's comfortable and I can finish it. Right?
I think
It's like,
with the spicy food, I think if you eat fast, that's when you get it.
that's the problem.
Really?
It's so delicious.
You have to slow down.
That's good advice. Because it builds, right?
It builds,
yeah.
yep.
So like you even in Sri Lankan culture, like we use our hands. It's the fingertips. Like you see the lines.
Yeah.
You don't go below that line. So the
Okay.
food was supposed to touch with your fingertips.
Mm-hmm.
And Sri Lankan food, like you're supposed to mix everything together. Like all the curries, you don't eat it separate. Like the rice, you mix everything together.
Like you
that.
take a little bit
So
of the
that's what
rice,
it comes
a
with.
bit of each curry, like mix it with your
Yeah.
fingertips, because that's just how
It balances
people,
it, right?
Yeah.
It's not too much heat. It's not too
No.
much one thing.
So we tell, like I tell most of the customers, that, hey, try to mix everything.
yeah.
So that's when you get the real, what it's supposed to taste like.
Mm-hmm.
certain dishes in Sri Lanka, like I know in my opinion, I feel like they should be enjoyed a little bit on the spicy side to really get that whole flavor.
Yeah.
Because sometimes if you kind of make it mild,
Mm-hmm.
you don't quite get that experience.
that
Yeah,
point.
you like
miss it, right?
miss it. So
Yeah.
you just like have to kind of maintain. Again, like spicy doesn't mean like it should like you should be like sweating and
Right.
like it doesn't have to mean that. Like it should give you a little bit of a sensation, but also you should be able to enjoy the food.
Yeah.
It's
And
not like-
slow
yeah.
it down.
Yeah. Slow it
Don't
down, that's the
inhale it.
key.
All right.
That's the
This
key.
is so good to know. I'm doing it wrong. If it wasn't so delicious, but now I can really fully enjoy it the
Katu
correct
goes well
way.
with the beer as well. So.
It does. It really does. Yeah. Yeah. It's the best. Everybody should try it. It redefines comfort food for me, like I think for a lot of people. It's something that I was not familiar with at all, not on my radar, and it's near and dear to my heart now. So
Thank you.
yeah, thank you for bringing that here and sharing it with Audubon Park.
Yeah, no problem.
So when you were first in Audubon Park, what were your first impressions of the neighborhood?
We really liked it from
Yeah.
the first Audubon. It was Eastern Market. People was really nice.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
So-
So we found a lot of
It's so
like
busy over there
adventures.
too, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
We actually launched a food truck at Easton. That's where we had the official like opening.
Love it.
And like we found a lot of people were like curious and adventurous to try because I mean Sri Lankan food, like where's Sri Lanka? We have no idea what it is. Like what's your food like? We had a lot of questions, but
Yeah.
once they tried it, they told us, okay, I think I can eat this again, you know?
Yeah.
It's unique, but
Yeah.
in a good way. It's unique, but people
Yeah,
like
I
it.
think that's
So
what
something-
they're like unique. Like
Right.
they hadn't tasted anything like that. Like they could taste like there's spices in there, but it's not like it's not gonna leave like a bad impression on you. It's like it's okay, this kind of works. So they were really curious and they kept asking, okay, when can we eat this again? Where will you guys be at? So we had a really good like response from East and very nice. They really promoted us and like they really helped us to kind of make that stepping stone into this market and the even the market, the Audubon market, like everybody looks forward to all these vegetables that we cook. So we try to like keep it interesting,
Yeah.
do different variations. So it's been pretty cool.
Do you partner with any of the local farms? Have you gotten to that level as far as sourcing
No,
goes?
we have not.
yet,
Okay.
no.
Not
maybe,
yet.
Maybe 2023 is the year for
Yeah.
that.
Maybe. You never know.
Yeah, yeah.
The problem with us, Mike, the way we were doing it, I don't know if it's the right way. We don't, our menu, since it changes, it's literally, it could be Monday, like we wake up, oh, we did not come with a menu. Because it could be like a week. We had a
There are
weekend.
days
Yeah.
like
We
that.
had a weekend that we were busy, and Sunday
You
night,
work best under pressure sometimes,
Right,
right?
exactly.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
could be like a busy weekend, and then we were tired Sunday. We did not really think about it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Then Monday morning is coming.
Yeah. All right. Gotta
So-
get serious.
Okay.
So, like, what are we
Time to put
gonna
a
do?
thinking
So
cap
we
on.
had to go shopping, grocery shopping
Uh-huh.
that day. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
So while Shay goes to the kitchen and prepping, I go pick up all the groceries. So
Yeah.
Actually, sometimes that really works.
Right.
I know it sounds like we don't have our
It's
act
chaos
together,
sometimes.
but because we actually get inspiration just going to the grocery store. Okay, this vegetable looks really fresh. Like, and we buy all our vegetables like right when we're about to cook them. We don't like buy in bulk and freeze or anything like that.
That makes
So
a big
everything
difference.
is bought like fresh, and like if we're like really stuck for ideas,
and certain things.
that's why we look for
So for certain
inspiration.
veggies, we had to go to the Indian grocery stores because that's where it's available.
it's available.
Sure. Yeah. That makes a
So
lot
like
of sense.
the bitter melons.
Yeah.
We have like things like that. So we had to go to the.
So it's sourced from different like grocery stores, and we'll only buy it if it's like up to our standards. So sometimes vegetables are, really fresh, or sometimes they don't look that great. So if we're really like stuck for ideas, that's when we'll just go with like an open mind.
Yeah.
Okay, what am I
It's
cooking
like,
today?
yeah. What are the vegetables telling us? Right.
Yes, let them
which
talk to
direction?
us.
That's
So
right.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's like,
Yeah.
like with me, like it's like especially she's the one who plans everything. I never plan. Never planning.
See, there's
Yeah.
always got to be one
Yeah.
in every
Opposite
relationship.
She writes
yeah,
everything.
That's right.
So like Monday Market is a really great place to get all the veggies,
Yeah.
but I never think.
Sure.
I don't think about 2 days from now.
Mhm.
So
yeah. Well, and you're working too.
yeah,
so
I'm working
it's-
too.
it-
Like
and-
I'm focused.
Work
Like
more.
yeah. By the
You
end
get-
of the night, the veggies are gone.
Yeah.
You
Yep.
know, so it's
Yep.
that's kind of how it goes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I have like a routine now. Like if you ask Gabby, she knows. Like,
She has talked about your routine. You're very regimented.
Yeah.
You're very
Oh my
on
God.
schedule.
but I am
right?
not like
yeah,
that. Like it's
Mhm.
it's weird. Like my like day to day, not routine at all. Very
I can
chaotic.
attest to that.
Uh-huh.
For some reason, for Monday Market,
It's what works for you,
Yeah,
right?
it's like-
yeah.
like I'm comfortable. Like even that, like at like the food tasting, like I do that when I go to the market.
Mhm.
Like it's like I'm used to it now. Like it's like I don't even have lunch because I'm when I go taste that at that time.
Yeah.
And
Uh-huh.
at 4
So it's
o'clock.
like become
it's
like a
That's
religion.
right.
Yeah.
Like,
So I like be there at 3:30, 4 o'clock for
I know
tasting.
Gavin's like rushing, like I gotta get to the market on time.
That's what drives you. That's
Yeah.
you know by your hunger level. You're like, okay, I gotta get
Right.
there now,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
That's part of it. No, that it works, and
Yep,
I
it
feel like Gabby runs a very tight ship there too.
Yeah.
So the vendors definitely like respond to that as well. They're like,
Yeah.
okay, I gotta get there at this time.
Right.
There's no messing around.
Yeah.
She's good that
I
way.
try to get there first because
Yes.
because I had to turn the trailer around and all that
it's
stuff.
tricky.
Yeah.
I've watched that navigation, and it's you're very skilled at it.
Yeah.
A lot of practice.
Yeah, it's an art.
It is.
So yeah, I guess the 2 food trucks, and would there even be a possibility of adding a 3rd food truck with a different style?
No, so
Yeah.
Never say
never-
never.
Never say
right?
never. Right.
but
But I sense a pattern so far.
Oh
so
my God.
so
yeah.
far right now our focus
Uh-huh.
2023 we're gonna have our Roti Hut going to a la carte.
Oh, cool.
Their
The
new
second
location.
location.
Where is that going to be?
It's gonna be on Sodo. area.
Okay.
In the Soda
nice.
district.
Oh,
yeah.
that'll be a great branch out for you as
Exactly.
well.
So
Yeah.
that's where we are working on right now.
Okay.
So we're getting ready for that.
Yeah. I love that concept.
Yes.
That a la carte.
Yeah. Oh,
it's
it's
like really
great,
cool.
yeah.
Mhm.
And
And
even
it works so well for the Roti Hut
Yeah,
too. Like
bet.
all the food that we serve on there is just it seems like it's a good fit.
Yeah.
Like
You did a rotation at this location here?
we did.
Okay,
yeah.
okay, cool.
It was like 3 months.
Yeah, we did 3 months.
3 months with the Roti.
So they had a spot available. They like, you guys want to come in, this experience what it's gonna be like.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
So-
bought that truck like really fast, and like we wrapped
Wow.
it.
It's small.
It just
Yeah.
Was
like,
it because of that opportunity
Yes.
that you bought the truck, basically?
Well, we were gonna do it.
Okay. But
We
the
were-
timing was
Yeah,
like,
so
okay, we
the
need to do
timing of the
something.
buying the truck was totally based off that.
Yeah, it just caught us like totally off.
Sometimes I jump and just do things.
I'm like,
But that's how
what?
you do. You just make it happen, just in a
Just,
flash.
yeah,
right? It's
sometimes
just-
you need
yeah.
to do that.
Uh-huh.
If you think, then you probably won't do it.
It seems to work for you both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That like,
See-
yeah.
See, the thing
We
is,
thrive in chaos.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
it is.
Totally. Chaos with
So
a
we-
purpose,
Yes.
as Gabby once said, and I
Yes.
really
It's-
love that.
Absolutely.
I mean, we were not ready to buy a second truck.
Yeah.
Like we just went and bought it. Now we had to work extra hard to pay for it.
Sure.
but,
sure.
But then I feel like I know we got to work hard, but I think once it's there, it'll be something good.
Oh
You
yeah,
know?
yeah.
So-
Sometimes like waiting until you're ready isn't really the answer
Yeah.
either, because it's like you would just wait forever,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's like sort of being thrust into it, but you know that it's
Because
going
you're
to be
gonna
positive.
think about all the things that's
Mhm.
not gonna work. But we just bought this. We got it wrapped. Like we pulled in the day we were gonna open.
Oh, it was
It
stressful.
was,
Like it
yeah.
was stressful.
It was a
too.
lot
a
of sleepless
timeline.
nights.
It was 2 months. Like we really bought, and the thing is, we were not ready to buy a truck. We were not planning on it.
Sure.
We did not. So it was.
But
we
you
thought
knew
about
it was right.
Yeah.
You knew it was
Yes,
right.
it was.
Yeah. Or the universe knew it was right for
Right.
you, perhaps.
Yeah. It was. I mean, we knew we were gonna be there for 3 months,
Yeah.
and we knew it wasn't even long term over there. But we're gonna, go to this new location. That's our plan.
Yeah.
So once we have that, we have a really good feeling it'll be.
Yeah,
It'd
and
be
what was
good.
nice was to have like a permanent location at least for those 3 months, because people don't even they don't even have to check, are you
Yeah.
guys open? Where are
Right.
you guys at? Like even today we got like so many messages, like especially from Sri Lankans visiting from out of state. Oh, like we miss Sri Lankan food, but we're
Yeah.
closed because we're doing private catering orders. So it was
Right.
nice to have like a
A location
permanent-
for people if they want to go.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a customer saying Tuesday we did tasty takeover, and she's like, "I wish you guys were like open like at a la carte all day,
Yeah.
so that way I can just come whenever I want to and get
We
it."
actually went to a la carte last night, hoping that you were there, because I wasn't sure.
no.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I was doing my
It's
internet
not
research,
legal.
and I'm like, I can't tell. It doesn't seem like they're there, but let's go see. And yeah.
We get that all
It's
the time.
okay.
Like
Uh-huh.
where like we'll get messages, we don't see you guys, where
Yeah.
are you at?
It's a fun little like chase. It's like a scavenger hunt, right?
It
It's just
is.
like, and then
But
it's so
it's
rewarding
nice.
when
Yeah.
you finally.
But
get
it's nice to have like we realized it, like that's why we want like to have a place.
Yeah.
But
timing is everything,
timing
as
is
as we know,
everything.
and there's a lot of uncertainty in the market, and people talk about the future and all of these things, but it seems like you are picking a very sensible road as far as like building the business
Yeah.
and building clientele, and just getting the interest and
Yes.
getting people hooked on
Yes.
all of that
No,
deliciousness.
it is. I mean,
right?
we're starting from bottom up.
Mm-hmm.
We are just doing the way we can do it.
Yeah.
We just small, like we do the truck, we got it, and then the second truck. But we have a vision, but it's nothing. It's not like we can have millions of dollars that we can open up a restaurant right away.
No.
Yeah,
You've got to start small,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
especially with the scale of the quality of food that you're doing, as you were
Exactly.
saying, it's
Yeah.
like you'll really have to be thoughtful about which things you can ramp up,
Exactly.
right, without losing that
Yeah,
quality.
because
Yeah.
once you like mass produce it, it can definitely change. So that's what's nice about almost like small batch cooking as such, because you can really pack in the flavor. But once you like really mass produce it, then the flavor can change. But again, those are all things that we are learning. I mean, we're still learning every day.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
Yeah.
we even then, and then we get a lot of people telling us, like our family and things. Anybody, people see what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
They might see, oh, there's a market. That could be a big company. There's like people with money, like New York. They have several restaurants,
Mm-hmm.
and they can just come and be like, oh, there's markets there. We can open up.
Sure.
I mean, that is always there.
Yeah.
Like, but I feel like now
Gotta do it the right way.
But now
Yeah.
it doesn't matter to us anymore. Like I used to
Yeah.
stress about that
Sure.
because I knew there was actively people saw that what we were doing,
Mm-hmm.
and some owners, different states, were looking at us and saying, "Hey, we can open up a place." But now I was like used to stress about it, but now not anymore because it's.
'cause
We
I
know
think-
people.
Yeah,
Like
I think
we,
Yeah.
like we
our
build a
own
customer.
thing, yeah.
Like we,
Yeah.
we like part of a community kind of thing.
Right. Right.
Now it doesn't matter who comes. It's
Yeah.
just
There's no rush for the next step
Yeah.
too, right? It's
Right.
like you could be doing this
Yeah.
for a little while until it really makes sense to settle into a brick and mortar. And, I think that branching out and, building up more customer base and, people will come to you wherever
Right.
and you're definitely doing it the right
yeah.
way.
We want to feel like people like when we go like to a restaurant. If you feel like you know them,
Yes.
like
That's such a
it's
rare
like,
experience,
Yeah,
right?
it's like when you go to your hometown like local place, like you know them.
Yeah.
It's like even if you forget your wallet, like oh don't worry, you pay next time when you come. Like that's what we want to build.
Right.
That's
You
a
know?
kind of like
Trust, that
Yeah.
community. Yeah.
And that's what we envisioned for our restaurant too. Like when you're in here, your family,
Yeah.
you're gonna eat like we eat. Like, we want you to feel like happy and content and
Yeah.
that whole experience. So that's definitely our vision. And Gavin is a huge person who loves the outdoors. So he has this huge vision of how the restaurant should look like.
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah. So location too is definitely another thing that needs to work for us because we want to have that outdoor space too. Because a lot of Sri Lankan people just love being outside and eating and having a good time.
I can
and
relate to all of those things.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
So
And
keep
it's-
looking.
Yeah, I know.
Summer is gonna be tough
Yeah,
in that
that's
case.
It does get tough that way.
Rain and the high, but hey,
It does. Yeah. I mean, we do have like an entire part of the year that
Yeah.
it's pretty tough to be outside.
Yeah.
But as you've seen from the market, even when it rains or even when it's terribly humid and hot, people still show up.
Still show up.
And I think that we're kind of breaking through that that thing about summer that keeps people indoors. It's like you can enjoy the outdoors year round here. You really can. To some extent.
Yeah.
I mean, enjoy is maybe a stretch for
Right.
some. We're suffering through summer, but it's worth it. Yeah. Well, thank you both so much for coming tonight and
having us.
just everything that you do. You're two of like the happiest people that I've ever met as well. Like sincerely, I that was one of the things I wanted to share with you is just like
Thank you.
always with a smile, and it just seems like you're having the best time. I know that it's very hard work, and,
Yes.
and I appreciate the quality and everything that you put into it, and it really does come through.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, definitely. And so the website that people go to find you and the socials.
So we are both on Facebook and Instagram.
Okay.
Instagram, our handle is at the Ceylon Hut, and Facebook is just Ceylon Hut. And if you want to find out about our second truck, it's Ceylon Roti Hut on both Instagram and Facebook. And you can always message us on that. And we have a phone number, which is 407-575-4027. If you need to call us and find out anything about food or anything like that, just feel free to call or message us anytime.
Yeah, and then in case if you guys want to go to Sri Lanka and have questions, feel free to always ask. We
That's nice.
we actually have a few
Yeah,
customers.
sense
That
of
we have
way,
one
yeah.
going tomorrow.
Oh,
Yes,
wow.
yes.
So
Wow.
yeah.
Do you both make it over there like regularly?
We
or?
have-
The last time we went was in
6 years ago.
2016.
Okay.
We haven't
Yeah.
been since then. It's
Yeah.
been a while.
With the
With-
kids,
with
we have
kids,
a 4-year-old
yeah.
now. So
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
thinking about being with him on a plane for like 30 plus hours, we're like, oh, okay, maybe we'll wait a little bit.
It's everybody will appreciate it more
Yes.
at a later age, I
Yeah,
think, right?
absolutely,
Yeah. That's exciting.
yeah, it is a long flight, but it's a really good experience.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a small island with
Beautiful
beach,
beaches.
then
yeah.
in the middle of the country, waterfalls, rivers, and then safaris, a lot of elephants. That's why we have our logo, elephant. So
Oh, wow.
And food everywhere.
Yes.
Like everywhere.
I love it.
basically, a lot of people in the city of Colombo, but once you literally
the
go out
outskirts.
20 miles outside,
Yeah.
it's green as you can be, and it's very calming. Not much people, so like the city itself is
Yeah, it's a
very
lot of
busy.
hustle and bustle in the city.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
once you go like to the outskirts,
20
a lot
miles.
of natural beauty, like waterfalls. I mean, those are just like
It's like
amazing.
paddy fields.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
just so serene and calming. So, and like the hotels, you can find like Airbnbs to like really luxurious like cottages and hotels. Like it's a really good experience. Either
Yeah.
way you wanna,
Your money will go
Yeah.
a long
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
Basically, like you can get like do Airbnb $20 or not even $15. You get really good like Airbnb with food, like breakfast.
Wow.
So and
So
then-
you could be on kind of the travel board as well for
That's
should maybe
yeah.
talk to them
Maybe.
about
Yeah.
the tourism board.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We can be the hub.
It's a great selling point. I mean, you reel them in with the food, and
Yeah.
then you talk about the culture and the lay of the land there. It sounds magical.
I mean, honestly, like we really like we had a few of our customers going there. They loved it. Like we love just giving information, you know. So we had another our regulars. They're going tomorrow, and they're
so
going to be
great.
there for Christmas.
And my dad's in Sri Lanka, so he always
And then
tells
we
me,
were like-
"Oh yeah, like give them my
Yeah,
number.
so we like-
I'll show them around."
So
He's a very
basically,
happy-go-lucky guy.
Yeah.
So he's always ready to entertain
So-
anybody.
Wow.
they,
How
we,
cool
we
is that?
celebrate Christmas. So we were telling, hey, if you guys want to go, just here's the number. Give him a call. You guys can go to her house.
You
for
know
Christmas-
somebody over there.
Yeah.
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 for a Christmas party. You know,
Yeah.
so.
And then you guys get to share stories about this customer that you
Yeah.
both now know. It's like,
Exactly.
yeah, it's truly a family experience.
It really is.
You're welcoming them into the
Yeah.
larger family.
Yeah.
Wow, that is really special. Well, thank you both so much.
Thank you, Manny.
And we look forward to 2023 and all the great things to come.
Absolutely.
Looking
Thank you
forward
so
to it.
much.
Definitely.
All
Take
right.
care.
All right, Mike.
Too.
Bye.
Bye.
Hello APGD, a neighborhood podcast, is brought to you in part by Stardust Video and Coffee, Audubon Park's beloved neighborhood cafe, bakery, bar, and meeting place, located at 1842 East Winter Park Road. We're also sponsored by Red Light Brew Pub. Founded in 2005, Red Light is widely known as the source for world-class imports and microbrews. A wide selection of natural wines, plus award-winning beers brewed in-house. A full kitchen is in the works with an amazing menu by Chef Jess Tantalo. Located at 2810 Corinne Drive, please check out Red Light for all things beer and wine and soon food. Our theme song is by Christopher Pierce, and special thanks to Trey Hester for all of his help in making this podcast a reality. We do hope you enjoyed this episode. If so, please click subscribe and leave a review if you'd like. We'll see you next time.